Hey guys, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. It's Beer 30. Let's go take a walk, see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews. Today we got the last in the series of 3 of the Old Nation beers that Brandon K has sent me. This is their Electron Brown. And what this is according to the label, an Espresso Bean Double Brown Ale coming in at 8.1%. IBUs are 25. It has absolutely nothing written on the bottom of this one, no batch number or anything. And the little letter here that Brandon has sent me says Electron Brown was batch number 1. First time they've done it in cans. Was a special brewery only release. He said it was also canned on the same date, March 28th. And today is the 24th of April, so not quite a month old. Wanted to do these 3 beers that he sent me because they were juice bombs and very fresh. And he picked them all up at the brewery according to what he's told me. The other 2, the M43 and the, what was yesterday's? Yesterday's was the Boxer. They were both IPAs. And this one is a Imperial or a double brown ale. According to what I've got in here on the notes, it says our joint effort with Detroit Draft Divas, our double brown ale with lots of roasted chestnuts steeped in the whirlpool before fermentation. Named in memory of Ron Brown, our dearly missed engineer slash general problem solver there at Old Nation. So evidently the guy passed away. So a great tribute to Ron for them to do something like this. I'm sure he's sorely missed. Says here this aggressively double brown ale is brewed with chestnuts for a pillowy mouthfeel and finished with fresh ground espresso beans for a huge coffee aroma and flavor, lightly sweet. So looking forward to this one, the final beer of the evening for me. We're going to do this and wrap up the Old Nation beers that he has sent to me. So that's all we need to talk about. So we've got the ABV, the IBUs, and the letter tells us when the brewery did its first release. I will tell you right off the bat that Rate Beer and Beer Advocate, neither one have a score because absolutely no one has commented on this beer yet. So into the glass we go. Food pairing cuisine is barbecue cheese with earthy Camembert Fontina. Your nutty cheeses, Asiago, Colby, Parmesan. Goes well with your chocolate dishes, of course, and the meat is beef. Glass brought a pint back on a tumbler mug, Sidell. I'm using my favorite tulip glass, a solid beer glass. And since it has coffee in it, I would not cellar this, guys. Do not cellar. Because the coffee is going to fade. Hardly any head poured on that. Over into the light, there is none. It's pitch black, guys. No light at all. Looks like a stout. I mean, I'm not getting any red ruby tinges around the bottom for a brown ale. Usually they're a lot lighter than this. Let's get a nose to it. Rich roasted malt and coffee. Definitely getting the coffee on the nose. A lot of times when it comes right out of the fridge, like this one is, the coffee sometimes is a little subdued. And this one is too. I mean, it's there, but it's a little subdued. I got a feeling as it warms up, that coffee is going to come out more and more and more. And already, after the 3rd whiff here, I'm getting more coffee. So as it opens up, you're going to get more coffee. And a lot of people don't even drink these beers 40 degrees out of the fridge. Just like some of the barley wines and the stouts, they'll put them in the fridge for 30 minutes and bring them out, where they're having them around 55 or 60 degrees. I always bring mine out chilled, and then I sip on it for 30 minutes or longer and let it come up to room temperature before I do the final chug, and try to get all of those nuances of it coming up to room temperature before I give the final comment and grade on it. Definitely getting coffee, roasted malt, not a lot of chocolate on the nose. A little bit of sweetness. Smells pretty good. Let's dive in and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brandon. Now, on the taste, the coffee is there. It is off the chain. Strong coffee. Espresso coffee. It's there. Big time coffee. I've often wondered on these espresso style beers that they've infused that type of coffee into it, what the caffeine level is on that. When they brew these beers, maybe they ought to put, if they know or if they can figure it out, well, how much caffeine these beers have. I've often wondered that, if there's any way of finding out exactly how much caffeine you're getting when they infuse coffee into the beer. Very tasty, guys. It is very, very tasty. Let's get the last little bit into the glass before I go off camera and sip on this for a while. And probably fire up a stogie to go with this nice, rich, dark beer. And for a brown ale, it's very, very dark. That is a very dark brown. It looks like black coffee in the glass. So let's let it warm up, let her taste it, and we'll come back after about 30 minutes or so and see where it ends up. Alright guys, I'm back just to the left here. Went very well with the cigar that I was puffing on. Big time roasted malt. Big time espresso coffee. Hints of caramel toffee, maybe some brown sugar. Not a lot of chocolate on this, and maybe just a slight hint of some bittersweet chocolate. A little bit of dark fruit, not a lot. The coffee and the roasted malt is standing out more than anything else on this beer. And the espresso coffee is definitely standing out on the taste. More so than it was on the nose when it was right out of the fridge. But now that it's warmed up, I'm definitely getting that coffee on the nose. Heavy roasted malt. Espresso coffee. Espresso coffee is definitely up in the front seat. Wonderful beer. Absolutely wonderful beer. But it bothers me that they don't have either a batch number or an enjoy by or a best by or even better, a canned on date on this beer, especially if they brewed it with coffee. But first time done, brewery only release. You can see why they do not, but I wish they would, because these beers get bought up and they get traded and they sit, and you end up trading for something on a beer like this that's 6 months, 8 months, 12 months old from the time it was picked up, and the coffee's going to fade on this one, guys. So I wish they would, and they do have the machine to do that. Don't know why they do not. I guess they figure if it's brewery on release, we don't have to. I got a little bit of problem with that. Wonderful beer. Final chug. Excellent beer, guys. Espresso coffee, double brown ale. Tastes a lot like a porter to me. It don't have the mouthfeel or the heaviness that a stout would have, but it's very close to being an espresso porter, especially with the color that I'm getting. But the breweries can call it whatever they want to. That is a very dark beer for a brown ale, as far as the color and as far as the mouthfeel to me. So with a very well made beer on top of that. The alcohol is super well hidden. I'm not getting any of that 8%. Very well done. Just wish they would put some little more information on the bottom of the can, even though it's a brand new release. I told you earlier, Rate Beer and Beer Advocate doesn't have a single person that's commented on this beer yet. So probably something brand new that they've tried, and it's a winner, guys. It's definitely worth picking up if you're into the coffee beer. To me, though, I do think it's an A beer, but I don't think it's a 10. I'm not going to give it to 9 with the information they put on this one. I'm going to give this the 8, which is the A-. Numeric rating on this one for me would be a 93. That's where I would put this one. Even though it's a very tasty beer, they need to put that information on there, especially since it's brewed with coffee. Just like being brewed with hops and not having any information on there as far as a bottled on date or canned on date, if you will. I want to see that information because, like I said, these beers get bought up and they sit in people's closets and cellars and refrigerators, and they get traded off, and you never know if it hadn't got that information on there without going to the website and trying to dig up information. I want to see that printed on there, and they do have a machine that's capable of doing that. So that's where I'm going to put it. And like I told you, Beer Advocate Rate Beer doesn't have anything on it. So the only other check-in we're going to do is Untapped, and they have it at 4.05, which is in their A- scale. So if you've had this one from Old Nation Brewing, this is their Electron Brown. All 3 beers that Brandon has sent me from this brewery have been very, very tasty. They've all been A beers. But I think the M43 was a little bit better than the Boxcar, and I think the Boxcar was a little bit better than the Old Nation, but they're all, than the Electron Brown, but they all were A beers. These guys up there at Old Nation's doing some really tasty stuff, and you guys up there that can get these beers and go to the brewery and pick them up. Like I said, I don't know what the distribution is, if there is any. Whether everything has to be picked up there or not, I'm not sure. Brandon, you may put that in the comments, whether it is released at the stores and you can buy them, or it's brewery only release. You can only pick them up at the brewery. Very tasty beer, guys. If I could get this and they had a date on it here, I would buy it. So if you've had this one, the Electron Brown from Old Nation Brewing, let me know what you think. Come on back tomorrow. Let's see what we can dig out of the fridge. See you then.